Hey there, welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you, and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, I greatly appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. So many talented people out there who cover the Eagles, so anytime you decide to hang out here with us on this show, it goes a long way, and we do appreciate you. Coming up, Howie Roseman crushed the 2024 NFL draft class. And I know it's early in the 2024 season, but Quinyon Mitchell, the Eagles' first-round pick, and Cooper DeJean, the Eagles' second-round pick, look to be the real deal. These are two of the top players that I really liked for Philadelphia going into the 2024 NFL draft a few months ago back in April. The Eagles had a terrible secondary last year. They had one of the worst defenses that I've ever seen. They were starting to get noticeably older in that secondary, especially at cornerback with Darius Slay getting up there in age. The same could be said for James Bradberry, and you could see the decline last year in their respective games. And I thought that the Eagles going into the draft really needed to address the cornerback position. And I love these two players for a variety of reasons. So for the Eagles and Howie Roseman to come out of the draft, taking Quinyon Mitchell at 22 and Cooper DeJean, where they traded up to take him 40th overall, I thought Howie Roseman knocked it out of the park. And for Quinyon Mitchell, he was my favorite cornerback in the 2024 NFL draft class. Speed, athleticism, coverage ability, ball instincts, ability to make plays on the football. He had 44 pass breakups his final 2 years at Toledo. At the NFL Combine, he clocked a 4.3 40-yard dash. I like his swagger, confidence, physicality. And for Cooper DeJean, a Swiss Army knife at Iowa who is capable of playing all over the field. We saw that in his starting debut against the Cleveland Browns in Week 6. He has return experience, and he's just a freak who can impact the game in a variety of ways. And in the draft, oftentimes, especially when you're a winning football team like the Eagles have been, and when you're drafting later, it's not like they had a top 5, top 10 pick, you're always looking for value. So for the Eagles to get Quinyon Mitchell at 22 without trading up, my favorite corner in this draft class, I thought that was a steal. Then they trade up to get Cooper DeJean, but they got him in the second round when he clearly had first-round talent. And I love what Jeffrey Lurie said, the Philadelphia Eagles owner, when he was on the phone with DeJean after they took him. We couldn't sleep overnight because we were worried that somebody was going to leapfrog us in order to take you. So if you connect on your first two picks in any draft, that is big time, especially for an Eagles team that struggled so mightily on the defensive side of the football last year. And they could be building blocks and marquee players for this team for the foreseeable future. Let's first begin, as we do in-depth analysis on both of these players, with Cooper DeJean. Really impressed me on tape with the eye test in his first start as he started in the slot, thanks to Vic Fangio finally making that move that we've been asking for, over Avonte Maddox. And in DeJean's first start, I thought that he was one of the top Eagles defenders on the field, maybe the best defensive player on the field last Sunday. He played 90% of the snaps, 52 total. He registered 6 total tackles, 2 quarterback pressures, a quarterback hit, a half sack, and he helped to force 2 sacks. I loved what Vic Fangio did with calling some corner blitzes for DeJean because he is an incredible athlete who has those types of instincts. He can play outside corner, inside corner, hybrid linebacker, safety. He played quarterback while in high school, and he's credited a lot of his vision and a lot of his instincts, his feel for the game, for having that experience at the quarterback spot, and you just see it with him being a seasoned player. And of course, most importantly, he suffered a broken leg last year, then a hamstring injury to start training camp. He looked healthy. He looked really fast. And there were 2 plays specifically in that game against Cleveland that really stood out to me. The one that really popped came in a critical moment of the football game. Here you see it is 20-13 Philadelphia late in the fourth quarter. The Cleveland Browns are in the red zone. Deshaun Watson in that second half actually performed pretty well. I think he was 10 of 11 after recess. But keep in mind the situation of the game. Eagles up by 7. Browns need a touchdown to tie it. They're the only team in the NFL not to score more than 18 points in a game this year, and they're marching. They're on the 9-yard line here, and they're threatening to tie this game up. And if the Eagles would have lost this game, what a disaster. Would Nick Sirianni have a job now? The city would be up in flames because they're already fired up over the Phillies' early out in the Major League Baseball playoffs. So Eagles fans were really, really angry going into this game. They're still angry, but the Eagles were able to get a win, partially because of this play from Cooper DeJean. You see him circled there, playing at that kind of safety spot. Deshaun Watson's in the shotgun. And in the backfield with him is Elijah Moore. And you see Cooper DeJean. He's looking into the backfield. He has his eyes on Deshaun Watson, and he has a really good feel for what's about to happen with this specific play. Because Deshaun Watson takes the snap, and it's a fake handoff here, and leaking into the flat is Browns wide receiver Elijah Moore right here. And there you see Cooper DeJean circled. He has already read and diagnosed this play. And he knows exactly what the Browns are trying to do. That Deshaun Watson faked the handoff, and he wants to go to Elijah Moore in the flat. And if you're Elijah Moore, if you're Deshaun Watson, look at all this space up here. Because this corner right here is being taken upfield. That's Keely Ringo. And so if Cooper DeJean gets lost on this play, if he's not able to diagnose what's happening, that is a touchdown for the Cleveland Browns, and they're an extra point away from locking this game up at 20 apiece. But what does DeJean do? Reads it, diagnoses it, and he just dead sprints to the football. Elijah Moore catches the ball here, and Cooper DeJean is in a fantastic spot to make the play. Reed Blankenship is not. He's behind Elijah Moore. So Cooper DeJean is the safety valve on this play, and it all started with the pre-snap recognition. And what is DeJean able to do? This is no gain at all. Elijah Moore got to the 5. Cooper DeJean popped him. Elijah Moore took a little while to get up. And that is just a fantastic play by Cooper DeJean. The other play that I want to point out was a little bit earlier in the game. So the first play that we just showed you is a feel, pre-snap recognition, and some athleticism to get to that spot from where he was from that far safety spot. But this is really good off the snap. This is really good cornerback fundamentals. This is really good speed, sideline awareness, as we're about to show you, and cornerback instinct. So here you have Cooper DeJean matched up in the slot with Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is a speedster in this league. And DeJean is able to go step for step with him on this long ball from Deshaun Watson. There's some pre-snap motion here to try to cause some confusion for the Eagles defense, but DeJean does everything that you want a corner to do. Next slide, and you see how DeJean, right here to my right, is able to lock up, put the clamps on Jerry Jeudy, and run with the guy who's very fast. We're talking 4.4 speed for Jerry Jeudy. But then the cornerback fundamentals here. What do you want to do? What are you taught as a cornerback in this situation? To drive your man toward the boundary, toward the sideline, to not give the quarterback a throwing lane to try to complete this pass. And that's exactly what Cooper DeJean was able to do. He took Jerry Jeudy out of this play, no pass interference, but he just forced him to that boundary because he had sticky coverage on Jerry Jeudy. And when you make a play like that, what happens? A celebration. Incomplete from number 33 in Cooper DeJean. So great couple of plays in that game for him. This is what he's capable of doing. And this is what he did at Iowa as an outside corner. I did think that going into the pre-draft process, because he got a little bit handsy at Iowa, and because you can use him in a versatile way, that he's better suited in the slot, because you can use him in the slot. He can play a little bit of hybrid linebacker. You can have him around the box. You can send him in on some of those corner blitzes. He can play a little bit of safety like he did on that play in the red zone. And he's just a dynamic player who you can use in a variety of ways. And I know that I have mentioned this comp a couple of times on the show, but Trent McDuffie of the Kansas City Chiefs is an all-pro in this league. And he's one of the top defensive players in the National Football League. he's not necessarily an outside guy. He's more of an inside guy. And sometimes people are like, if you're not an outside corner, you're not that good. You have to be an inside guy. The defense is trying to hide you. No, not necessarily. Like, Steve Spagnuolo uses Trent McDuffie in a really special way. He's a great defensive mind. Vic Fangio is a great defensive mind, and he's using DeJean in a similar way, where last year McDuffie had 448 slot snaps, 300 cornerback snaps, 158 snaps in the box, and 68 snaps along the defensive line. And outside of his defensive impact, how about what DeJean did on special teams with Britton Covey out with that broken shoulder? 4 punt returns, 51 yards total, 12.8 average, and a long of 19. Damn good stuff from DeJean in his first NFL start. So who are you most excited about? Is it Quinyon Mitchell type QM? Is it Cooper DeJean type CD? If you want to cheat and type B for both, that's fine, because I'm a fan of both players for the reasons that I stated, and we'll talk about Mitchell and Nolan Smith coming up here just around the corner. But first, today's Eagles Now, sponsored by our friends at Game Time. If you're looking for the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed, an app that is so user-friendly and it beats any other ticketing app in the marketplace, which is a very competitive marketplace, download the Game Time app. The more that you wait to buy your tickets, the more that prices drop, because Game Time specializes in last-minute tickets. Prices drop as the event gets closer. It's no joke, and you're guaranteed to get in the door with the best vantage point and price point on the Game Time app. Now, as I like to say, I talk sports for a living, and I do so much sports content. So sometimes I need to unplug and get away from sports. I love going to concerts and comedy shows. So thanks to Game Time Picks, curation makes it easier to find tickets at the lowest price to all types of events. Sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and more. And if you download the app and you create an account and you use this code here, flanked to my right, Chat Sports, ChatSports, you will get $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. If you want to go to Eagles Giants coming up on Sunday, hope everybody out there is getting set to have a fantastic weekend. Plenty of tickets available at MetLife Stadium. So, one more time, download the app, create an account, use that code ChatSports for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. What time is it? You already know. It's game time. As for DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell in this game together against Cleveland on Sunday, and hopefully this is a sign of things to come, and the Eagles have been waiting to draft and develop corners of this caliber for a long time. Philadelphia hadn't drafted a corner since Lito Shepherd out of Florida in the first round since 2002. Pretty crazy, right? And they exchanged jerseys, did DeJean and Mitchell, which is cool because they look to be really good friends and good teammates and good players. Both of the Rooks targeted 7 times against Cleveland. They gave up 2 catches for only 24 yards and gave up a passer rating of 56.2. And Quinyon Mitchell this year, ladies and gentlemen, he's not just been the best corner on this Eagles team. He is playing like one of the top corners in the National Football League. I mean, he is playing legitimate lockdown corner against the likes of some really good wide receivers, from Amari Cooper to Jerry Jeudy to Mike Evans to all types of really good players in this league. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. He has an overall Pro Football Focus grade of 72.1, a coverage grade of 73.3. He's allowing a passer rating when targeted of 82.8. This is all coming on 189 coverage snaps. He has 2 pass breakups, many more passes defended. His 6 passes defended, that's the 8th best mark in the NFL. So those 44 pass breakups that he had his last 2 years at Toledo, those ball skills, being able to get in and out of his cuts, his back pedal, that is translated to the NFL level, and he should have had his first interception against Cleveland. He saw it. The ball was spinning. He was backtracking. He made a great play on the ball. He went up to get it. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson got a little bit greedy, came over from that safety spot, hit Quinyon Mitchell, dislodged the football, and you could tell Mitchell was like, dude, I had my first pick, and you ruined it for me. But these 2 players right here, DeJean, Mitchell, building blocks for this Eagles team. And could the same be said for Nolan Smith? He's only in year 2, ladies and gentlemen. Please give him some time. Remember when everybody wrote off Brandon Graham because Philadelphia took Earl Thomas ahead of him? He's in his 15th year. He's played the most games in Eagles franchise history. He played his 200th game on Sunday, did Brandon Graham, and he has become a focal point in the city and a focal point for this organization. And I told people prior to the year, don't panic about Nolan Smith. Give him some time. He's raw. He's young. And what have we seen the last couple of weeks? Nolan Smith has progressed. Nolan Smith is making some improvements. And according to Vic Fangio, he's seeing what I'm seeing. Vic Fangio said this week that Nolan Smith is getting better every week with more experience. Here's a direct quote from the Eagles defensive coordinator. He's been, I think, one of those guys that's been improving each and every week a little bit. Some of it's just been from playing more. Some of it is learning more experience. It's a process. And look at Nolan Smith's Pro Football Focus grades this year. So around 60% is average. It's not quite in the green, according to PFF, but it's like right below that. So these numbers are not bad by any means. And keep in mind that he has 50 pass rushing snaps, right? Overall grade of 61.1, run defense grade of 62.4, a pass rush grade of 61.6. He has 5 pressures, 4 hurries, a sack, and 5 stops. So 5 pressures on 50 pass rush snaps, that's not bad. What I also love about Nolan Smith, he has a nonstop motor. He never stops going. He never stops playing. He will play to the whistle, even a little bit after the whistle. And even if he's across the field, he will run dead sprint across to the other side of the field in order to make a play. And you can tell that he plays with joy. He plays with energy. He plays with the I don't give an F, I'm not scared type of mentality. And I love that. And it's great to see some improvements from some of your young players this early in their respective careers. Because, look, I know that a lot of NFL teams build their teams offensively now. Philadelphia is one of the teams that invests more on the offensive side of the football. You still need some marquee defensive players in order to get stops to be able to stop some of these great offenses in the National Football League. Before we hop on out of here for this segment, be sure to give me a follow on social media. I put out a bunch of short-form content, thoughts on the Birds, analysis on the Birds. A lot of it has really taken off on my social media pages. You can find me on X and IG at Chase_Senior.